military.
Yes.
By the time it gets approval of Defense Council and bypassed, National Assembly. But at the same time, the president believes that let me give them an information, let me give them reports about what is going on. But in Senate, in their own view, that's said, okay, fine. Whatever you wanted to do, leave military option, pursue diplomacy. Nigerians are not saying that one, the Senate are not independent.
Exactly.
Nigerians will keep quiet. So until when they are about to approve all these requests, it's what do you call it? It's
rubber
stamp. No, these are people that are lawyers, that are doctors, they are seasoned civil servants in that Senate, even in House of Rep. I think we should commend them. You see, they are mature people. That's the way mature people will react. That's the way somebody can insult you in a very respectable manner. Unlike somebody at Area 1 bus stop that will be shouting against you.
Exactly.
So I think Senate has done well. We should commend them.
Right, but this 10th Assembly is having like a composition of several political parties within them. I don't know, like you just said, Nigerians seem to want drama, but this collaboration is not working for us. Why do you think that is?
You see, there's a huge difference between politics, election, and National Assembly. Now, once you enter National Assembly,
campaigns are over.
National Assembly as APC senator, PDP senator, AP senator. You are there as Nigerian senator. So, institutions in National Assembly, there are procedures and rules. Now, if you look at this National Assembly, you have APC, which is the majority. You have PDP. You have LP, you have NNPP, and you have SDP. Don't forget that the SDP people are were formerly in APC. Now they are friends. They can easily go back and say, under mutual friendship,
exactly,
we have these supporters. And the SDP senators, they were supporting President Tinubu before. So you can find that you cannot add SDP senators to APC. Now, in theory, NNPP senator, of course, you know the relationship between the president and Kwakwanso.
It's a very cordial relationship.
So you put in NNPP.
Right.
Now, for PDP, there are certain members of PDP that were formerly in
the APC
too. So you can use that particular friendship to also say, okay, I want this bill, support me, I support you. So Nigerians should understand that drama will not enhance reduction in job unemployment. So we need a cooperation of all the members of the Senate. You see, they work together. They were friends before, not because of political differences, and they are still friends up to now. So under that thing, if you want your bill, as a senator, want your bill to get passed, you have to go around, canvass, your points, the advantages of that bill,
exactly,
and then look at it from a larger scale, not about party. See, unemployment does not know APC, PDP, LP. Unemployment is about Nigeria, not party.
Now, let's go back to the composition of this ministerial list and the fact that there were, I'm hearing voices within the APC say these people did work for you and they deserve to be picked. If you were the president right now, I'm sure a lot of lobbying happened, a lot of pressure. I'm not sure if to say it's still on him, but was on him way before he announced this list here. What better compensation should there be for party loyalists and party supporters and those who worked hard to get him into office? How do you draw the line?
See, in politics, there are three parts. One, those who worked for the party, those who organized campaign rallies, those who mobilized people. Now, two, those who can deliver, like what you call technocrats. Now, the next person, the next stage is, fine, we need to compensate you with one or two things. You see, those who campaigned, they've done a fantastic job.
Okay.
Now, they should realize that in campaigning for a party is you are working for a nation.
Is that what you tell them during
Yes,
campaigns, or is after campaigns that you tell them this?
They know that we are working for the nation. You cannot expect, I'm sorry, I mean, a taxi driver who supported you and said you should make a minister of transportation. No. You need, why are you supporting the party? It's because you believe in the party leadership that can turn around the economy of the nation. Okay, assuming they've given you a post, or you're earning 10 million naira. If you are driving to your house, before the gate man opens your gate, you'll be looking like this. Because there are boys around the streets that they are unemployed, they've not eaten, they can attack you. So, your 10 million naira now, as your salary per month, is of no use to you because your security is at stake. So why don't you do things that everybody will be able to have an impact, to feel the impact of government? So giving you an appointment is not necessarily that, okay, fine, because I work for a party.
Right.
You should get it. But you see, what I will not support is if you attack the institution of Nigerian institution like Aso like Senate, you can insult a person, but you cannot insult the institutions.
That symbolize our country.
You cannot insult our passport. You can't. We should be proud of our passport.
Right.
So whatever one can do, if you get someone to help you, okay, if you go to hospital right now, somebody, there's an accident, will you be asking whether the person is from Hausa, from Fulani, from Yoruba, or Igbo? You want solution. And in our daily lives, we have Christians, Muslims helping each other. By the time they are sharing money, nobody is going to say, oh, you are a Christian, oh, you are a Muslim, oh, you are a Ifa. Nobody will say that. The common goal is to share that money. So, of course, a party must recognize its loyal supporters. A party must give them a sense of belonging. And sense of belonging is, look, we're having empowerment program, digital skills. So not everybody in the party went to school. So if you want to get them back to school or get them back to any other thing, you have digital skill programs. Enroll them there. Program. You have agricultural programs. Give them grants. Empower them in a way.
Prioritize party members?
Yes. No. Encourage them to participate. To fill the form. Do you understand? At least from that particular place, you can be able to pick one or two of them. Yeah, there. Because you see, you can't. You have to break it down for party members. What's the qualification? I mean, you can ask, okay, we're looking for. I'm not saying the party doesn't have people that are qualified.
Exactly.
They have people that are qualified. But at the same time, we have people that can deliver. Not everybody
of course
in the party can be minister.
Exactly. That's true. However, how is it better managed so that you do not get people that are disgruntled?
You see, like I said,
because if I understand where you're going, but you're just limiting it to a certain cadre of people, category of people who might not be worthy to be considered as senators or rather as ministers. I'm talking about people, ex-governors too within the party who felt like they really worked hard. They should have been considered in the state. I'm talking about professionals within the party who felt they gave their all, resources and all basically to ensure that the president emerges. I'm sure it must be a very difficult task.
Yeah, you see, you must in quote offend someone. You must offend somebody.
No matter how you try.
I will try. We are all human beings. But at the same time, you see, sometimes the president may not know the person from Katsina State now, for example now, and say, okay, let me base the recommendation on certain leaders in Katsina State, certain leader in Lagos State, certain leader in Oyo State, certain leader in Sokoto State. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, based on that recommendation, you can actually pick one or two people. So I think the prayer, I think we should manage the situation, and government must have learned one or two lessons from it, and hopefully they still have more appointments.
They do.
People should, but you see, politics is about service. Politics is not about pocket.
And yet, some people think there are some portfolios that are demeaning for their persons. I mean, I've heard that.
You have a right to reject portfolio. I remember Senator Defia. Obasanjo appointed a minister, and when he was given a minister of state, he declined. You have the right to decline. If you feel what they're offering you is not commensurate to what you like, it's fine. I've heard so many people that they offered ministerial post and he said, no, let me introduce you to one person. So there are Nigerians that they don't want to be a minister, that they want to be private, and they will give you advice. The president said, this is what I think
should be done, right?
So there are people like that.
Do you think, looking at the ministerial nominees of President Tinubu, he indeed looked inward for those who have capacity?
Yes, he looked inward. If you pick names like Professor Pate, the man left his job that is earning so much for Nigeria. Look at Dr. Lausa from Lagos. The man left US for his job. For to be a minister. Look at the woman from Kano State. The Governor Wike, everyone who's Governor Wike is good in infrastructure, and hopefully, I hope maybe will be put to Minister of Works, Housing, or Minister of Nigerian. But whatever Wike is working,
that's interesting.
Wike perform. So I mean, which other names are you picking? They are good names. Is it the elderly professor that was formerly DG, Nigerian Law School? Is it Fagbemi? And Fagbemi, SAN, he will be someone that could actually tell the president that, look, we have to obey rule of law. Fagbemi will deepen justice sector reform. So he's not looking at, if you remember, when the president was governor, most of the cases he had with federal government to deepen our democracy and our constitution interpretation. So in the same way, Mr. Latifah SAN will behave, and justice sector will be reformed, and hopefully, I think by God's grace, I know that this next 4 years, Nigeria will enjoy. And another thing I want to add to you is that this is a government of MSME. This is a government that will provide financing for small, medium enterprises.
Nigerians are still waiting for that. The president had announced the plan for MSMEs. He has also announced the state of emergency on food insecurity and all that. And Nigerians are saying, when would we see this happen? The effect of fuel subsidy removal is biting hard. So what is Nigeria waiting for? The confirmation of the ministers?
Well, work is going on. The government is still working without a minister. The permanent secretaries are in charge. There are committee works going on to fine-tune the modalities of how to alleviate this fuel subsidy problem. Now, you remember that last NEC meeting, the NEC meeting agreed that the governors should go back to their states and review the social register such that they can be able to identify who
the poorest of the
poorest people. And I think I tweeted that I didn't buy the idea of the governors in charge, because the last register was from bottom to top.
I agree.
The last register was done by State Planning Commission. So, but you know, most governors are new governors. They will not be briefed about that register. Of course, you can read that. Of course, I think that people must have moved from one location to another. People must have died. Now you can review the register. So it's not left for the governors to present their register. They don't want delaying it. So to register, and so that the palliative can start. Then look at fertilizers and farm
the grains,
grain
right?
input. Today, I mean, just about 2 days ago, about 6,000 farmers are now working to get a direct input. There's a program on Federal Ministry of Agriculture. Now, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture must go back to that smallholder register. They should review it, such that, because you see, farmers from 1980s, they've been hearing government will give them fertilizer.
Exactly.
They will say have to go and buy the fertilizer somewhere else in the market. So I believe that this particular process, a farmer in Kuje here should be able to have a direct fertilizer allocation instead of going through the party. So I'm sure that there will be check and balances to ensure.
I would like to see this miracle that will happen. Over the years and in successive governments, we've had people complain that these interventions by government does not really trickle down. What do you think this government is going to do differently so that it's more transparent? And like you said, there will be access, people who need, who are promised this intervention will get access to it without having to go through people who, I know this person, I know this person, and the whole chain that often comes about.
Okay, let me give a practical example. I bought a rice milling machine in Federal Ministry of Agriculture. I don't know anybody.
Really?
Yes, I worked in. And I went to the department, I applied, and I was called to come and pay. After 2 months, they gave me an award letter to come and pay. The problem government is having is communication. Government is not communicating well. So many people are not aware, so many people, they don't know about all these government inputs. But now, they've moved food security from a normal conversation to national security. It means if you don't do well, people will react against you.
Okay. It's time to go for a short break. Woye Adeyemi has been my guest, and he's very optimistic that this government is going to do things differently. Well, let's go back to the ministerial nominees. After the break, we'll be talking about 48 names. Is that not a little too many for a government that's trying to cut down cost of governance? We'll be right back. This is still Joyasonyelive. This is still Joyasonyelive, and we've been discussing, analyzing the ministerial screening, the ongoing ministerial screening. Now, President Tinubu sent as many as 48 names. Although 5 have gotten their confirmation, Nigerians are still waiting for what will happen to the remaining 3. But the question is, for a country that's trying to cut down cost of governance, isn't 48 too many for a country that has about 28 ministries? Well, Woye Adeyemi is still my guest, and I would like to hear what your thoughts are on the matter.
The Constitution says the president must appoint ministers from each state. And we have 36 states plus
the
FCT Abuja.
That's 37.
He has fulfilled he has obeyed the Constitution. Now, the Constitution now says that the president cannot appoint more than 36. And also, the Constitution says you must have 6 per region, per each geopolitical region. That means 42. That means 42 plus FCT 43. So the president, in his own wisdom, can decide to also add more names and try to break the ministries. For example, Ministry of Education, it's very big. So you could have basic education, you could have secondary education, you could have higher education ministers. So I think it's for greater efficiency, because if you work in the system, it's in fact, a permanent secretary in Ministry of Education, he will get old within 3 months.
He's overwhelmed. That's how much work he has.
Within 3 months. Or for that Ministry of Health, you are dealing with all teaching hospitals, you are dealing with all medical hospitals, and then for that Ministry of Works, you have State Controller of Works in all 36 states plus Abuja, and the permanent secretary must look at it before we send a file to Honorable Minister. So even minister is going to have like a summary of what they are doing. Then you now find that the minister sometimes is in FEC meetings, sometimes is in Aso Rock meeting with the president, sometimes has a lot of meetings. So in order to fast track, you see, people have said, look, we voted for you, president, any president. People are saying, people are looking for magic, in quotes, and say, solve my problem. It's just like go to church and the pastor is praying. What you need from pastor is, pray for me, let me get healed. So nobody is talking about whether the pastor is fasting or not. So the president,
they just want solutions.
The president who have the 48 numbers, I don't see where those ministries will be. I'm just trying to give you an idea. Now, you are looking about to court governance. There was an Joyasonye report that has given us a way out to merge some ministries or departments and agencies, or to scrap them. But you see, after Joyasonye report, National Assembly has added more agencies, they've created more agencies. Senator Ibrahim was talking about bitumen commission,
right,
under Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel. And I said, you see, if you strengthen the Department of Mines inside in the ministry,
exactly,
you don't need an agency again. So National Assembly must buy in that Joyasonye report that whatever bill they are working on, they should not establish new agency. We don't need any new agency. You see, we have best civil service in Nigeria.
You mean theoretically?
Not theoretically, practically.
Oh, really?
We have.
Functioning, productive?
Productively. You see, if you sit down, you see people have this perspective that, oh, they just go to office, they eat granules and everything. No, no.
They eat the granules on the tree.
Yeah,
really.
those are clerical staff waiting for files or letters to come in. But when you look at the technical departments, if you have been opportune to read the memos from them, you'll be shocked that they can actually compete with a professor in the university. But we have this mentality. And if we strengthen the civil service, if you provide the civil service mortgage, if you provide them transportation, if you provide them health services, they will deliver more than what they're delivering right now. And you can promote them at will.
Who would provide all of these incentives for the civil service?
It's government.
The government is the civil service.
No, you see, the leadership in government, the civil servant can recommend.
Have they
then
done that?
The political will. Yes, there's so many recommendations. I mean, around us. It's for the government to be able to implement. What are the government? They are political leaders.
Have this trench of political leaders shown the body language that such recommendations will see the light of day?
You see, I would have wanted or wished President Tinubu. The Joyasonye report should have been implemented before the ministers would be swearing in. Because you see, when you have your parastatals under you, everybody will tell you that don't allow this parastatal to go because of the budgetary
allocations there, exactly.
So, but if you can implement that report, because the last time SGF was Mustafa considered a committee of former head of service, Manpepu, Professor Oladipo, also, then another former head of service, and they've done fantastic work on that report. Let us implement the white paper of Joyasonye before the ministers will settle down. The ones that we can repeal that were acts of National Assembly, they should take it back to National Assembly as executive bill and get it done. National Assembly can work on it within 2 or 3 days. Suspend their rules. First reading, second reading, third reading, everything's over. So National Assembly must actually buy into it. So once they buy into it, now you see what Nigeria is looking for is revenue. And let me tell you one thing here. The percentage of the civil servants, public servants, legislators, workers in legislative arms, judiciary, it's not anything that can affect our economy. But just a very, very small percentage. What you are talking about is wire cost.
Exactly.
You're having a minister, he has a lot of cars. We should go back to what Obasanjo did, monetization. A minister will be paid, he will take care of his driver, he will take care of every other thing. Then President Tinubu should also enforce critically. A minister should have a personal assistant, special assistant, technical assistant. The technical assistant is a civil servant who understands the ministry. But when you have PAs, SS, and you create crazy jobs, and then you are pushing parastatals to be paying their salaries, I think that particular thing should stop. They should enforce it.
How then would you then compensate the party members?
This
is those unconstitutional ways or unconventional ways rather that you're just pushing people who were party loyalists, isn't it? For many years that has been the case.
You see, like I said earlier, government must create a conducive atmosphere for businesses to survive. How many people are you going to compensate? How many people are you going to give money? But when there's a policy, when you have electricity, when you have security, anybody will strive. Go to UK, people are members of Labour Party, Conservative Party.
Exactly.
They're not asking for $1 or $2 dollars or naira or pounds. So what you need to do for the generality of Nigeria, when I say policy, that is good. When we are talking about, you called me and said, please come to the studio. Within 5-10 minutes, I do down here. Because one man called Erufai, he implemented Abuja master plan for the good of everyone, everybody.
Although at the time it didn't seem like so, because a lot of people were screaming out.
But now everybody can see that you can. I mean, somebody can come from Kefi and will still meet us here inside the studio, and he will still go to Kefi today. You can come from Kefi to Abuja 1 and 3 times because the road 100%. So look at what Erufai did, and everybody. Erufai did not change. He just implements the master plan faithfully. So are you not saying that at that time Erufai was favoring PDP people that time, or only PDP people will use that road from Abuja to airport? That time was AC, or that time was AD, or AD and
yes.
AC, and that time it was AMPP. So we are AMPP, you can use that road. No, let us look at the bigger picture.
Right.
That government should create an enabling environment. Politics is not a business. You must have a second address. So
it's funny you say that.
Yes, because you must have second address.
Because our politicians have politics as their careers.
You see, by the time we are reforming the system, by the time you have, okay, let me give you an example. I always say Lagos State. You can't find somebody that said, I'm a civil servant in Lagos. You will find 10 people saying, I have my own private companies. In other words, Lagos is run on private sector-led economy. This government, the government of President Buhari was a public sector economy. This government is a private sector economy. You will find that Federal Civil Service Commission will be begging people to come and pick reforms. They won't say anybody. Because Nigerians alone, they love making money.
They are industrious.
They are creative. So when you give them essential things like electricity, you can now, the tax issue, you now have like a single tax code. Like you know that if I open this shop, this is what is going to AMAC, this is going to FCT, this is going to federal government. You won't see those boys said you put television, you are paying for television, paying for radio, anything. So this other side will come again.
Exactly.
You are killing small businesses. So but now with this tax committee in place, and they can come out and joint tax board too can enforce whatever they've agreed, such that in a year a business person, a small business person will be able to know how much is going to pay as tax, and then enforce Finance Act that if you are not making up so amount of money, you are exempted
from tax.
But you won't see those AMAC people coming to lock your door and said, please, you need to pay tax. That particular person doesn't even pay salaries of his workers. That's going to pay tax. It will close the place. And what are the closure of businesses? Government will lose revenue. So I believe that between now and next year, by God's grace, SMEs will
start thriving,
will making money on a jovial way. They will have time to go back to Dubai and Rwanda, back on vacation, but they've not been going, or Lebanon now.
That's something a lot of people will frown at listening to you, because we're trying to, promote the tourism in country. But let's go to these nominees, and they've been confirmed. A lot of them have been confirmed, the ministerial nominees. Would you see President Tinubu as one who would fire who has the stance to hire and fire should there be a minister who is not bringing that innovation, that final goal that was written in his blueprint, because we didn't see much of that in the past administration of the APC. So far, Nigerians are not sure if it's an APC thing, no matter who the minister is, and no matter how badly he's performing, the APC government just lets him go.
Well, you see, I'm a proud APC member.
I'm happy for you.
And it's APC government. But we have different human beings. Even in a house, you have 4 kids. The 4th kid will not behave the same way.
The same way, that's for sure.
The APC government believes in improving and reducing unemployment and so many societal factors. I believe that this president will fire any incompetent minister. That's what we say, that President Buhari has his own style of governance. Look at strike action now in unions. President Buhari solved that problem. Yes, you must obey Trade Dispute Act. You can go on strike. It's a law. It's legal. But strike must have a terminal date. And once the government takes you to National Industrial Court, you must obey. That's why up to today, ASU is not paid them 8 months of no work, no pay. So one of the things that President Buhari did is to lay down the foundation that President Tinubu is working on. Last week, we went to go and do groundbreaking of Ogolada power plant. It's part of Ajakuta Kano gas pipeline. Now, what they've done about the gas pipeline, they've been able to do 70%. Now it's time to do Abuja power plant.
Right.
Now you look at Siemens project. Even though Siemens said, okay, they have challenges of COVID-19, that they will need to extend the completion time to the next 5 or 6 years to come. But at the same time, Siemens is bringing 85%. Nigeria is bringing 50%. So somebody is borrowing you money and say there are these challenges. And don't forget, there are 2 issues that cause Siemens delay: COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine war.
Right.
It's on course. Second Niger bridge was done.
It's done, right.
Lagos-Ibadan expressway, almost 90% completed. So, but going forward, this president now said, okay, you have laid my foundation. I want to build on it. And because of building on it, I'm not ready to take excuses. So if you're a minister, I've given you, like President Joyasonye will say, I've given you a job, but I can't do the job for you. So if I do the job, I will fire you, because 4 years is like tomorrow, and Nigerians will judge you
based
by
what you've
done. So this is not time for experiments. Somebody like Governor Wike, are you saying Governor Wike has been Minister of Education before? Has been a governor. So there's nothing civil servant will tell him this is the way to do it.
That he already doesn't know.
So another aspect for this government to succeed is to amend the law on procurement. We're spending so much time for procurement processes. We should reduce it. There's no investor that will keep his money waiting for you guys in Nigeria and said, ICRC must go through this particular period. You must spend 6 weeks to advert. You must spend 2 weeks to analyze your quotation. You must spend 1 week for Ministerial Tenders Board to meet. You must spend 1 week for the report from the permanent secretary. You must spend another 1 week for the minister notification. Before you know it,
several months.
We're in August.
Exactly.
And Nigerians at Wuse Market is saying, I want to buy yam at this price.
Exactly.
All we are saying is story. So we have to recognize that the laws that was made in year 2000 should be amended in order to drive governance and for us to have an improved economy. So I think people should, another aspect is government, these particular ministers, they should focus on PPP, concession projects. Government has no business at the airport. Keep a company to run it. Government has no business. See how we have been able to do GSM. Now you
because
have
of the privatization that happened there.
Now,
but then again, our privatization, has it really worked in Nigeria?
It has not really worked 100%. But what happened was, we let privatization now to go through concession. Concession, there are roads that are under HDMI that they will give for 20 years. That road, you will fix it, you make your money,
right.
and then in next 20 years, go back to government. Lekki Port 2 was based on that particular arrangement. Lekki Port is for about 45 years, concession period, you make your money, and
after
then you go
that
away.
it's government.
So by the time, government should be for policy formulation, not government getting itself involved in business.
Exactly. Government is supposed to not have any business doing business. But let's go back to this ministerial list before I let you go, because we're really running out of time. Now, what would you say that Nigerians should expect? The confirmation of about 45 ministers is done. We just want to breathe.
The poor will breathe.
The poor should breathe.
The poor will breathe. And I can assure you that we should expect service delivery. We should expect them to turn around things. We should expect them to reduce unemployment. We should expect them to improve security. Because security is key.
Exactly.
And then we should expect them to increase access to electricity. This government will not tolerate us to strike. This government will improve education.
Okay.
This government will increase the funding. And you know there's a student loan available, and the president has even removed all the conditions so you can apply. I went to university on scholarship in my days that time. I studied engineering. So, and I think the students be able to complete 4 years is 4 years. Like they say in politics, agreement is agreement. So it's 4 years, it's 4 years. 5 years is 5 years.
No ASU strikes that affect academic curriculum.
No ASU strike.
Woye Adeyemi, thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you.
Right. Well, we discussed the ministerial nominees and the screening that's ongoing, but tune back in same time here on Kaftan Television, because as usual, we have so much more. This is it for Joyasonyelive today. Have a wonderful evening.